Need a place to stay that's a little bit away from the hustle and bustle of Disneyland? You won't want to miss this episode if you're looking for great hotels at a slightly better price.
You're listening to Castle Talk Radio. We're live on the airwaves with Becca and Jessica. Now let's jump into this week's episode.
We are having a ball today at Disneyland Resort and discussing some of the hotels you may not have had on your radar. These are the hotels of Ball Road and around that area, so just north of Disneyland Resort. Now, this is kind of a tucked away little secret space that is perfect for anyone looking for a little bit of an escape. And Becca recently toured all these hotels along with my daughter, who was there representing the Happiest Blog on Earth. It was a great time, and we have 5 properties that we're going to talk about today and tell you if these properties are worth your time and a place to stay. Okay, so Becca, you and Julian, my daughter, plus others were there with our host getaway today, checking out all these hotels. And this is awesome because we don't often get to this area. Most people talk about the Harbor Boulevard hotels, but these are some great options, especially at a more affordable price. And they're still within the vicinity of Disneyland. So we really need to get to talking about these. And just like we did with Harbor Boulevard hotels, I do have a free printout for everyone that they can get on our website.
Yeah, and that's at castletalkradio.com, and you just click on freebies. We'll also have the link down in the show notes.
Right. So to start off, we are going to go to look at these hotels. If you can picture Disneyland in your mind, we are going to go through these hotels east to west. So if you don't know your directions, let's do a little Disneyland look. So on the east side of Disneyland, we have Space Mountain. On the west side of Disneyland-ish, we have Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So that might be like northwest, but just to kind of give you a layout. So we're talking north side of Disneyland, and we're going to be going east to west. So the first hotel we're looking at near Ball Road is 4 Points by Sheraton Anaheim. I think from looking at all the photos and talking it over with Julian after she got back, now I think this is the standout of all of them. Becca, you actually stayed there. So tell us about 4 Points by Sheraton Anaheim and if you think it was the best out of the properties we're talking about today.
Yeah, so I did stay there. I stayed for 2 nights. So one night was hosted as part of this event, and I did pay for the other night so that I could fly in the day before I needed to be there. But before I get going on this, just a reminder that we're going to talk about these hotels and exclusives that are available when you book them through our partners at Getaway Today. So you'll want to go to getawaytoday.com/Castle Talk to book these deals. Plus, that's also where you will get the best price on Disneyland tickets because we have negotiated an exclusive price for Castle Talk radio friends. Okay, so 4 Points by Sheraton. I'm going to say this to start. The reason Julian thought this was a standout is because she didn't stay there. So it's not bad, but okay. So
It
most
photographs really
it
well.
does photograph
The pool
well.
area looks so beautiful.
Yeah. So here's what you might want to know. So it sleeps up to 4 people in their largest rooms, which is a 2 queen. And that's what I was in because I had a roommate. Um, The hotel has a restaurant attached to it that does not offer free meals, but it does serve breakfast and dinner. However, Getaway Today is going to be able really soon to start offering free breakfast there for the guests that book through Getaway Today, and that's normally $20 per an adult. They already have kids eat free when you book through Getaway Today, so soon it will be everyone will get it free, and it's a really good buffet breakfast. Like I went in and I didn't eat it because I was short on time the mornings I was there, but I did go and see what all they had, and people I talked to that did eat there said it was good.
Great. Okay, so
Yeah,
this is a moderate price hotel, and
yeah,
actually all the ones we're talking about today are moderately priced. So we're really comparing similar level hotels, and especially since we're talking about the same area,
yeah,
these are really kind of apples to apples here. So if you're
yeah,
looking at this area in a specific price range, this gives you a really good idea. And I think, like you're saying, photography is important because photography does sell. And just like you said, Julian saw that with her own eyes, but did not stay there. You stayed there. So, and then I just saw it with through the photographs, right?
yeah.
And hotels and other people, right, that are selling properties, we know how to take the photographs to make it look good.
Mhm.
So that's just something to keep in mind. Like when you're looking at pictures of hotels on their website, they want you to stay there. So of course they're gonna show you the best pictures, right? Um, so I love that. We want to make sure that our listeners and people that are reading our reviews on our website know what they're getting.
Yeah,
And we're not saying that it's not a good hotel. It's a
yeah,
beautiful place. It's a great moderate hotel. But if you're used to like a certain level or you're used to 4-star hotels or luxury or whatever, this probably isn't the place for you.
yeah. So let
Um,
me tell you why I'm saying because Julian didn't stay there. So I was booked into a premium or premier, whatever they call it, room, which was fireworks view, pool view, but it also meant my room faced the freeway. The freeway literally runs right behind this hotel. And we were woken up multiple times throughout the night by cars that were going really fast down the freeway. There's a lot of freeway noise. Um, During the day, it's not as bad. I think that's just because there's enough traffic that people aren't able to go super fast. But at night, you really, really notice it. The other thing, which wasn't a problem when we were there, but the pool is 24 hours as well, which is a plus for some people. But if you end up with a pool facing room on one of the lower floors, that can also create extra noise if there's people that want to be out there, and especially if they're people that have maybe gone and spent some time at bars or Oga's Cantina right before coming back, you know? So those are the downsides. The beds were okay. Like they weren't super comfortable. I mean they weren't awful though. So they were okay. It did have a fridge in the room. Now they do have this king suite, which is huge. However, like it still only sleeps 2 people. So you have this huge amount of space. This would be more for like people that are coming and going to have like a meeting in their own hotel room or something with how big it is. Um, but they do have those 2 room types available. Now, the one thing I will say is it is within walking distance if you don't mind walking over the freeway, so the overpass. It's on the corner of Ball and and Harbor. And so it took us about, I would say 15 to 20 minutes to walk from the hotel to security.
mhm.
So it wasn't,
And you did go Harbor Way,
yes, the
walking on
Harbor
Harbor.
Way. You just go
Okay.
straight down Harbor.
Yeah, and if you
So,
listen to our Harbor Hotel episode, I did say I don't recommend staying past the freeway.
yeah.
So again, that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're coming with littles, because I think walking over that freeway presents another level of safety. So
Yeah.
if you're staying over there, you might want to consider a ride share or
Or the
something, or
art.
maybe,
The art picks up right outside
yeah,
too. So,
exactly.
yeah.
Some other option, even though it is walkable. And this hotel, their address is actually Harbor Boulevard,
Mhm.
even though it's more of a Ball Road hotel.
Yeah.
So we've spent a lot of time on this particular hotel because Becca just recently stayed there. So she has like that fresh info. But let's go ahead and move, continuing to the west. The next hotel is the Anaheim Majestic Hotel, which is so popular, sleeps up to 5 guests, has free breakfast, free parking, and a free shuttle. Why is this hotel so popular?
Well, the rooms are really big. The whole hotel is really big. So the hotel is on 13 acres. And to kind of let you know about how big that is, that's about the size of Galaxy's Edge. Like, I think we're a couple acres smaller than Galaxy's Edge.
Wow.
So this hotel is huge. They have to letter their hallways so that you know where you're at. It does have a kind of castle, medieval Pinocchio village type feel to it. So that makes it really popular as well because people feel like they're getting the theming of that hotel. It's also a fairly affordable one.
Mhm.
So it does help people that maybe can't afford to stay on site still feel like they have that magical place to stay. Other than that, I think one of the reasons it is popular is because they kinda have their own little princess that they have, and you can do breakfast with her, and she wanders the grounds sometimes. Some people think it's kinda creepy when she's wandering the grounds and not interacting with people, but I think it's fun. I think those people are the ones that just look out and see her passing by really quick. They don't really know the lore and the story of her. So that is also really fun, I think. They do have a gift shop and a deli, which we were able to get a few things at the gift shop. My friend, her strap on her Lululemon bag, her brand new one, broke the very first day. So she went in there to get a bag because we were doing these tours. She couldn't wear
Mhm.
it all day with one, half a strap. And there was a great price range. They had some of the Loungefly. They had, a ton of things. So it was good. Now, what I will say is that this hotel, it's very dark. When I say dark, it's like other ones we've talked about that were like this is the Camelot, where the rooms aren't super bright. It has a lot of fabric. I wanna put that out. So some of the rooms, they have, like, drapes that hang on each side of the bed. Some people think that's great, it's the theming. Other people that have concerns with things in beds that like fabric, um, it kinda weirds them out. It definitely just needs a little bit of an update, and
Yeah, the decor isn't, like, minimalistic in
no.
yeah.
So the lighting, and I'll say this was the 4 points as well. The lighting just wasn't great in the room.
Mhm.
So other than that, I think it's a great option. Now, I would compare this one again to the Camelot. If you've stayed there, you would like this one. Um, I would say it's a little bit above the Castle Inn and Suites if you've
Mhm.
stayed
But
there.
pretty similar.
Pretty similar. I'd
Yeah.
also put it close to the Best Westerns, not the one that's the mini suite, like, right across
Mhm.
the street, other ones
Yeah.
in the area. So I would compare it to those if you're wondering about what level it is, and,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
yeah. So it's a good one. Some people are interested, some people are not. I know, Jessica, you've decided it's not for you. Um, a lot of people on this tour, though, they wanna stay there now. They just loved it, and so I think it just depends. Like, I know I don't wanna stay there because of that darkness. I
Mhm.
feel like I don't know if you had a Sherry's where you grew up, Sherry's restaurant.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
them, they were always so dark that it kind of was like, "Are they trying to hide something?" And it's not that they are. This is just,
Right.
this is an older building, and so they don't
Yes.
have that lighting that we have nowadays.
Right, and it's just yeah, everybody has, like, a different thing, what they're looking for, and we are, like, thoroughly going over these, and we're being picky about them so that you don't have to. We're picking and going through these so that you know, what you're looking for, and you can just go in on, getawaytoday.com/castle talk and know which hotels you want. Okay, so the next one is Staybridge Suites. This one sleeps up to 6 and it has a free hot breakfast. And of course, when you book with our partners, you get reduced parking there. So, Staybridge, did that one have a recent update, or is that I'm confusing that with Springhill?
No, that one did not have a recent
Okay.
update, but it's not like it hasn't been forever. I think it was updated, like, a year before the closure.
Okay.
So 2018, 2019. Um, this is an extended stay property for those who
Gotcha.
don't know. So an extended stay is one where you have a kitchen in your hotel room. So, this is one that's great for larger families or families that want to be able to cook their own food. Even though it does have a free full breakfast, you still have that lunch that you can go and do. Another thing about having that full kitchen is you have a full fridge, which means you have a freezer. So if you want to freeze ice packs and take things into the park, that's always nice. I haven't stayed at this one. It is one that I've had friends have stayed at and have highly recommended it. So I do have it listed on my guide for hotels for large families, and those are hotels that sleep at least five in one room on the property and go all the way up to, I think some of them sleep 12. So I hope to check it out with my family here soon because I was pretty impressed. I would put it just a little above 4 Points and the Majestic. Like
Okay.
it was brighter, a little more modern, but I wouldn't put it up there with like the Courtyard or the newly renovated rooms at Hojo, or any of those like Suncoast, any of those. So I would say it's kind of in between Suncoast and Camelot. It's in between those two.
Great point. Okay. I'm going to take back what I said at the beginning about 4 Points being the standout because now I'm refreshing my memory. The best one, now let's see if you agree with me. The best one out of these was Springhill Suites Anaheim Maingate.
Yes.
Springhill Suites, there's another Springhill Suites that is at the convention center. So this is Springhill Suites Anaheim Maingate, which is over by Ball Road. And this one had the renovation recently, I believe.
Yes. It's been very recently because I actually stayed there June 2021 when
Okay.
all of us could go back in the parks. I stayed there for that. And it was just starting to get redone at that point. So it has been redone. This is a family that, or a hotel that sleeps larger families. They sleep six in their
Yeah.
standard rooms because there's two queens and a pull-out sofa. Um, and also though, with those rooms that sleep six, a lot of them adjoin. So you could easily put 12 people right together. And that's what we did when we came for the reopening, because I came with my friend and all of her kids and her daughter's fiance and all that. So we had 12 people in two rooms that were right next to each other. It has a slightly larger mini fridge in the room, which I love, and a microwave. Lots of storage. It has huge closets in these rooms. It does offer free breakfast, which I love.
Yeah, a good Springhill Suites, like updated. They have that really light, fresh
Mhm.
decor. And those are pretty standard. That's what's nice about Springhill Suites is if you stayed at an updated one across the country, you generally know what you're going to find here.
Mhm.
With hotels around Disneyland, there's so many that have such like either independently owned or unique takes that you don't really know what to expect. But the Springhill Suites, you can generally know what to expect. When we travel other places, my baseline is a Springhill Suites that I check out and see, do they have one? Is it freshly renovated? And that's kind of where I go from like trying to stay at a Springhill Suites if we can. So this one looks great. How
Yes.
do you feel about walking from the Springhill Suites into Disneyland?
I have done it.
Okay, and
It
which way
is,
did you go?
so I went, so it's on Ball, and I believe, isn't that Walnut right there?
Yeah, so Walnut is actually the street that the Disneyland Hotel is on.
Yes.
Or
So
yeah.
I used it. We went up Walnut and past the other hotel we're going to talk about.
Okay.
And that walks right along the side of the Pixar Pals parking structure. And then we
Mhm.
turned and went into the downtown Disney right there where the Disneyland Hotel parking is. It was
Really?
20 to 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely a different route.
Yes.
But you are close in the vicinity into where you can
Mhm.
like you see where you're at, you're oriented and
Yeah.
you could kind of get your way. And I think also the staff at this hotel and the one we're going to talk about next, like they know how to get you to Disneyland as well, so they will direct you and tell
Yes.
you.
But also the art. picks up right next door. So this hotel is right next to a post office, and the art stop is right there in front of that post office.
Perfect.
So you can utilize the art. And just a reminder that Getaway Today does also sell discounted art passes that you can get. So again, that's at getawaytoday.com/castle talk. So let's go on to the last one, Jessica, because we're pushing it on time here.
Yes. So the last one is Holiday Inn and Suites Anaheim. And again, there is another Holiday Inn. It's a Holiday Inn Express and Suites, and that is on Manchester, which is just behind Harbor. So keep in mind these two are different. This Holiday Inn and Suites is moderate. It sleeps up to 6 guests. This one does not include free breakfast. The Holiday Inn Express does. So keep those separate. This one is almost like in the parking lot of Mickey and Friends Pixar Pals. That is the one that Julian stayed at. Her quick, brief overview, because she has been sick since she's been back, so she's been isolating, was it's not a place that we would stay, but it was fine. Becca, what was your opinion?
Yeah, so one thing we need to know is it's probably a place we wouldn't stay because it is not updated, but they're getting ready to renovate. So
Perfect.
it will be newly updated soon because the layout of the rooms and everything is great. I think once it's updated, you would stay there if it was the problem I think most people are going to have for this is convenience. Like
Mhm.
it's really hard to justify this one when there's so many others that have a free breakfast and also are much closer to the park. I'm not sure if it's serviced by art or not. I that's something we need to look up, and we'll try and put that in the notes there. One thing that I really noticed about this one, so it has a pool, but it has a separate splash zone, so that's
Yes.
separated.
She did tell me that, and it's like gated off separately.
Hmm.
So you feel a little bit more secure about letting like little ones run around there without
Yeah,
worrying about them falling into the pool. Of course, you still need
yeah.
to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, so one thing I want so when we did our Harbor Boulevard North, I want to compare this. We talked about how at Hojo, we were like, "Oh, the pool's in the or the hot tub's in the splash area and not near the pool. So if you just want a relaxing time at the pool as adults, you're stuck in there or at the hot tub. Sorry, you guys. If you want a relaxing time at the hot tub, you're stuck in with all the kids at the splash pad. But now I see the flip side of this because at the Holiday Inn, there is no hot tub or pool or anything in the splash area. It is seriously just a splash pad with the water features and then a few tables. So unless the adults want to run around and be in the splash pad as well, you're basically sitting at the table. Um, so I kind of now see the flip side of that, and I think maybe the best thing to do is to have hot tubs in both.
Okay. We're ready for the renovations then. We'll put hot tubs in
Yeah,
both because we're on the committees. No,
right,
we're not. But,
right.
but we
I
would
do.
be happy to be on the committees of
I
all future hotel renovations around Disneyland.
Yeah, and I do want to say I really am interested to check this one out once the renovations are done. I
Yes, I love
will
that. That would
definitely
be
pump it
fantastic.
up. Yeah.
Perfect. So that is your Ball Road hotels just north of Disneyland. And we went east to west. You can print out your freebie printable that has all these details and you can take notes on that. Go to Castle Talk Radio and you can get this printed out along with other freebies. Of course, if you're looking to save on your Disneyland vacation, go to getawaytoday.com/Castle Talk and we'll see you real soon at Disneyland.